This is a bit of an emergency video on that Talladega race, so forgive me for the worse audio than usual. I'm recording this straight from my phone because I'm not home. I'm at my parents' place, and I just wanted to talk about how awful that race was and wanted to get it out as soon as possible. So I'm going to try and record this in one take and just get it out to you guys and just like pure raw feelings, because that was that was the worst race I've watched at Talladega in so many years, especially in the next gen era. Carson, host of our fans, congratulations to you. You know I can't stand him, but I put that totally aside from the fans. I'm happy for you guys to see him finally get a win. I do hope that doesn't take away from the fact that you guys also recognize that was a really, really bad race. And it wasn't even just the racing that was bad. It was the broadcast with the commercials and everything. And it was just such a frustrating watch today. I mean, broadcast is still on in the background. They crossed the finish line. I was just happy it was over. You could tell that I was so done with the race that my most disliked driver winning, I did not care. I was like, thank God it's over. So yeah, I mean, stage one, obviously they did the new fuel thing with the stages, and stage one was so weird, and it split into different groups. We ended up getting a combination of fuel saving, and then on top of that, they were like, you know what? We're also gonna bring back single file trains, which is incredible, so boring. And we just saw that for the majority of the stage. And then you had a couple of different split strategies. That was the one highlight of the stage, was that we had different strategies playing out. But the massive negative was it felt like the broadcast had no understanding of like what was actually happening. So it made it, for me, impossible to enjoy, because I was trying to keep up with what was going on, but the broadcast didn't even seem to know what was going on. So I was just confused at that point, and then I just kind of checked out. I was like, I'm just going to watch it and not pay attention and just see what happens by the end. And it was, oh my goodness, 98 laps of just pure pain. It was just single file here and there. We did have some, of course, side by side here and there, and in the beginning of the stage and kind of in the middle of the stage at moments, and of course towards the end as well. But it felt like it felt like every 6 laps we were going to commercial, and some of them were also full screen commercial, when they told us at the beginning of the year they were going to try and stick to just side by side under green flag racing. Obviously that was a lie. Thank you, Fox. I mean, I don't expect Fox to keep their word, of course, but I just saw a cat out there. Oh, it's actually adorable. Anyways, it was just commercial after commercial after commercial, and we get to the end of stage one, and I don't even remember who won the stage at this point. Was it the 60 of Ryan Preece? I think it was. He crosses the line, and we're at a Superspeedway, and they're racing for 10th with like Chastain and this big pack of cars, and they didn't even bother to show who got the final stage point before they cut to commercial break. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. They went to commercial with 8 laps to go in stage one, came back and didn't even bother to show 10th place coming across the line in a big group of cars. I'm like, what are we doing? And then we, of course, come back for stage two. Now we got the 45 lap sprints to the final 2 stages, and I mean, we finally get some good race. I don't know, were they fuel saving at the beginning of the stage or not? I have no idea, so I won't judge that part. But we got some 3 wide racing in the first few laps of the stage, and then at 5 laps, like not even 5 green flag laps into stage 2, they cut to a commercial. Full screen commercial, by the way. Again, we come back, and about a minute later, it felt like we have the biggest crash of the season with 26 or whatever cars wiped out. And oh my goodness, I tell you what, you really get to see the Bubba Wallace haters come out, because Wallace gets turned around by a push from Chastain, lift the rear tires right up off the ground. You heard it in the onboard, you saw it in the onboard, but somehow, of course, when Bubba Wallace gets turned around, people find a way to like throw the blame on him when there was literally nothing he could do in that situation. But we finally get some racing. Good racing, and then we wipe out 26 cars. I'm just like, are you kidding me? I knew after that what the race was going to be, which it was going to be that regardless, I think, personally. But literally for the rest of the day, it was 2x2 gridlock, which we all knew was going to happen anyways, because we've seen previously, especially at Talladega, when they are pushing 100%, it's just a 2x2 gridlock. If you pull out a line, there's so much drag on the car, you just go backwards. So I knew already it was game over for the racing quality, which was just absolutely horrific. We saw it all the way to the end of stage 2. Anytime someone made a move to the outside, they didn't go anywhere. You'd see them maybe move up a car length or 2, and then they would just drop back and they'd have to get back in line. And then stage 3, as soon as, who was it? Hocevar and Buescher, Bowman, like those guys, they came out in the first few spots out of the pits to start stage 3. I already knew those were the drivers that was like, okay, one of those 3 is going to win the race. We already knew that because of the way the racing was. There's just no, what my frustration is we should be celebrating Carson Hocevar's win, but like there was no skill to being in that position. It was literally just a pit stop and holding your line is all he had to do. And that's really frustrating to watch personally. And it was again 2x2 all the way from, that restart in stage 2 to the very final lap of the race. And it got so bad that no one really even bothered to make a move on the final lap, which I didn't expect to happen anyways. We did have a crash towards the end with the 43 of Eric Jones, getting, of course, crashed by the 77 who got turned from the 47 off of a push there on the exit of turn 4. Feel bad for Eric Jones. Would have loved to see him win, or even Buescher. I was really hoping Buescher was going to get the W, but when you had all those Chevrolets up there at the end, you knew the odds were pretty low for the 17 to get the victory. But just really disappointed. And you know what? Shout out to Fox because they gave us full screen commercials under green. Want to say thank you to them. Shout out to Fox for giving us side by side under some yellows just in case we missed, some action under caution. Big ups to them for that. But just super, super frustrating. And NASCAR, again, and some people say it's the stages that are the problem for the fuel saving. Did you watch the O'Reilly race yesterday? Maybe you didn't, because the O'Reilly series, I'm not sure if you are aware, there is stages in the O'Reilly series, and they put on a phenomenal race, one of the best races in the last decade, on a Superspeedway in that car. So you can't tell me it's the stages that are the problem when they went out and put on an incredible race yesterday. But we come out today and it was just terrible. We go from fuel saving, single file train fuel saving. We finally get some good racing, and then they crash 26 cars 2 minutes later, and then we have a 2x2 gridlock for the rest of the day. I'm just really frustrated, really annoyed, as maybe the most annoyed I've been after a race. But personally, I am just glad that race has come to an end. I'm looking forward to Texas next week. I think it will be way better, 1.5 miles again. Texas last year was actually pretty decent, so I think the racing will be better going into Texas. But clearly NASCAR needs to do something, and they need to do it now, because my goodness, it's an unacceptable product that we have right now. And I usually record this at my place on Sunday nights and get it out for Monday, but I wanted to get this out right now and allow us to all have a discussion about what we just saw. But I want to hear your thoughts down below. If you're a Hocevar fan, congratulations. I don't like him, you guys know that, but congratulations to him. I don't really care. I'm just so disappointed with how awful that race was, to be honest with you, and I'm looking forward to getting back to some good racing in Texas. Anyways, that does it for me. You guys let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys next time.